Every day, about 37 people in the United States die from drinking and driving. And just like that, your life can be over. Or you could be killing an innocent person's life who might just be coming home from work. Well, today I'm here to talk to you about the consequences of drinking and driving, how alcohol affects your body while you are drinking, and I'm going to talk about how you can drink in a safer manner. Starting off with my first point, the consequences of drinking and driving. The biggest consequence of drinking and driving are fatalities. One person every 39 minutes dies because of drunk driving. This is a crazy statistic that can be easily changed just by one small decision. Not only are you putting yourself in danger, but you're also putting others at great risk. And just think about how many people are drinking and driving that are not getting caught. That can drastically increase this number. There are also many legal consequences that can happen if you are caught drinking and driving. State Farm states there are legal consequences such as a suspended license, higher insurance rates, and most importantly, you could get mandatory jail time. Now, the worst being mandatory jail time, where you could serve months to your life in jail. And do you really want to spend months of your life in jail for something that you hardly remember? Higher insurance rates as well. If you're just caught drinking, driving, as we all know, no one wants to pay for and more expensive insurance that you already pay for, because insurance is pretty expensive. And then also having the ability to not drive and having a suspended license also is a huge consequences of drinking and driving. This can also cause great grief to families who may have, if you have killed someone drinking and driving, it can cause great grief for families, or if you yourself died, it caused great grief for your families and have a huge effect on your family and their life. And a huge effect on your life if you were the one who ended up killing someone and you have to live with that the rest of your life. The next point I'm going to talk about is the effect that alcohol plays on your body. This graph here shows the number of drinks it would take for you to get legally intoxicated based on your gender and how much you weigh. Anything over a 0.08 is legally intoxicated, and it shows the number of drinks that it takes. And it shows how the only safe driving limit is having nothing to drink at a 0.00, meaning you are completely sober. NIDirect, a state health magazine, states, at first you may feel happy, but after several drinks, you will start to slur your words, have blurred vision, and lose your coordination, showing that when you drink, you are not in 100% control of yourself. The two greatest things being affected are your reaction time and your decision making, which are two crucial things you need while driving safely. Once you drink alcohol, it travels through your bloodstream to your brain, kidney, lungs, and liver. This graph here shows how alcohol works throughout the body. You first drink the alcohol, then it moves through the body and through your bloodstream. It is 20% absorbed through your stomach and 80% through the small intestine. A fact is, on an empty stomach, alcohol can get to the brain in 1 minute, showing how fast it can affect you. And then once it's in the bloodstream, alcohol crosses the blood-brain barrier and affects the brain, and it increases your level of feel-good dopamine, which gives you all of those giddy feelings you have when you are drinking. This also shows the standard drinking size for some drinks. It shows wine, how 5 ounces of wine and the alcohol percentage that is in it. It shows how 5 ounces of wine contains 12% alcohol, and how a regular 12-ounce beer contains 5% alcohol. The last point I want to make is what steps we can take to drink in a safer manner. The first thing and the most common thing is we can have a designated driver. Friedel Richardson states, in 2011, there were 194 DUI fatalities in Arizona alone. This can all be prevented by having a designated driver. Say everyone wants to drink and have a good time. Another great way to be safe if you are getting a vehicle is to call an Uber or just taking public transportation. AFMC states, never ride in a car with a driver you suspect is under the influence of alcohol. Even one drink can impair your safety. As we know from before, your decision making and your reaction time are two things that are greatly affected when you are drinking, and it greatly affects your driving. This is also huge to drink in a safer manner. This is huge for teenagers, as that is when some people tend to start drinking and partying. It's huge for teenagers because they want to look cool if you are drinking and want to show off by driving, and that is overall not the smart decision for you to make. It is not important to look cool in front of your friends, but it is more important to stay alive and make the smarter decision, rather than getting in a car with someone who has been drinking that night, or saying that you get in a car with someone or you're with your friends and you say whoever's the least drunk drives. That is a dumb decision and you shouldn't do that. Instead, it's safer just to play it safe and get a driver who is completely sober. In conclusion, we talked about why you should not we started talking about the consequences of drinking and driving and why you should not get behind the wheel. We talked about the consequences such as higher insurance rates, as well as a suspended license, and the biggest consequence being jail time, up to your life in jail, due to if you kill someone. We then discussed about how alcohol affects your body, and we discussed how it travels through your bloodstream to your lungs, liver, and brain, and how it affects your body and your reaction time and your decision-making skills, which are two crucial things for why you should not get behind the wheel. We lastly finished talking about how you can drive in a safer manner. The most common thing if you're going to a party is to have a designated driver for that night to make sure that you have a completely sober driver and you're going to get home safely. Or if everyone wants to have a good time, then you can take public transportation or call an Uber. And it is more important to be safe rather than look cool in front of your friends. Thank you.